Hi, my name is Britney Blackstock. I am one of the Assistant Director Career Consultants within the UAB Career Center. And today I want to talk to you about interviewing. It's a really important topic and it really can sometimes be intimidating. But hopefully in the next few minutes you'll learn a few tips and strategies to make you a little more comfortable or confident with interviewing. Some interviews are high stakes, but we have plenty of resources within the Career Center that can help you. So we'll just review some of the takeaways of this session. Number one, students will identify resources and opportunities to practice interviewing. Number two, students will be able to effectively tell your story. Number three, students will articulate their values to employers using proven techniques to answer behavioral interview questions. And number four, students will successfully utilize the STAR method. All of these things are lots of fun, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Did you know that 47% of employers typically say that the biggest mistake that job seekers can make is that they have little to no knowledge or have done little to very little research about the company? It's really important that you know about the company. And lots of recruiters are saying that students really have not done their research. One of the first things you can do to overcome this is to know yourself. Of course, it's great. You can browse the different websites and different companies, go to their About section, learn about their mission and vision and their values and how you can potentially add value to what's already in place. You can begin to practice your story to see how you fit into the puzzle that's already been created. So that's where knowing yourself comes into play. You want to be knowledgeable of the things that you can bring to the table. So different experiences and skills and competencies, as well as your personality traits. Those are really great things to know. Any particular goals that you may have as to why you have picked out this particular company, and again, how you add value to that particular employer. So you want to first begin with telling your story. That's all that an interview really is. It's just your story. It's an opportunity for you to highlight what you know and what you do. So I'd like to think that your resume is kind of the trailer to your story and what you have to share, your movie, so to speak. So if you go ahead and begin to think about all of the things that you possess, all of the things that you've gained at UAB, it's really great and easy to begin to think about what you want to do futuristically. So go ahead and think about what are some things that you want to tell? What are some things that you want people to know? Of course, you want to keep in mind that this does need to stay professional. How do you make a connection with the company? Again, we're going to be helping you prepare and develop your story. Practice is key. So, one of the first questions that you'll probably get in an interview is that dreaded question of tell me about yourself. And this question can be really difficult in some ways to border personal and professional. Sometimes it's very tempting to say, well, I'm from this place, I have this many siblings, I live with these people, I have this many cats or this many dogs. So it's kind of a fine line between do I dive into my personal stuff or do I dive into my professional stuff? And I think it's okay to straddle the line and give the employer a little bit more knowledge about yourself, but at the same time, you have to keep it professional because in most cases, it's a first impression. So one of I guess the tip to answer that question is tell me about yourself. You want to go through your present, your past, your future, and really kind of a bonus is the why component. For example, I am a senior at UAB majoring in public health and currently working in a research lab. Before working in the lab, I volunteered at a local blood drive. My ultimate goal is to ensure equal access to basic health care for all Alabamians. So if you wanted to take that a step further, you would say why. You would give the description as to why you want to do these things. Because I want to be a leading physician, because I want to pursue epidemiology, because XYZ. So I always like to encourage students to go a step further and tell the why. So again, when someone asks you, tell me about yourself, you review those three key points: the past, the present, the future, and as a bonus, why. Okay? So another thing that I want to talk to you today about is behavioral interview questions. These are not meant to trip you up by far, but there is a certain strategy towards a behavioral interview question. With the behavioral interview question, you have an opportunity to think about a story of something that's happened to you. For example, someone might ask, so tell me about a time where you worked with a lot of customers. This would probably be thinking about time management. The employer is probably giving you an opportunity to really dive into how you manage your time, okay? How you prioritize, how you diffuse situations. Another question might be, tell me about a time when you had many competing priorities, right? So that's again making time management. That's the how do you determine which priority gets met first? Everything might be urgent and important, but how do you determine which priority needs to be met first? And when you dive into behavioral interview questions, one of the good things that you want to think about is the STAR method, okay? The STAR method is where we go through situations, tasks, actions, and results. So you want to make sure that you do this in a fairly quick amount of time. So you want to describe the situation that you were in. You were tasked with explaining what your task is that you needed to accomplish. Describe the action that you took, and then explain the results to your actions. So tell me about a time that you made a mistake. How did you handle it? This is a great example. So let me go through this STAR method with you here. I was working as an intern for an events company, and I was responsible for ordering the floral arrangements for a private event hosted by a high-profile client. Unfortunately, I mixed up the information from another event, and the flowers were delivered to the wrong venue on the other side of town. I admitted to my mistake to my boss. I took an early lunch break, drove over to the other venue, picked up the flowers, and delivered them to the appropriate venue an hour before the event. The client never knew about the mix up, and my boss was very grateful. That's a really good example. That shows that you took ownership of the mistake. You thought about an action that might be a solution to the problem. And the result was that the client was happy and the boss was pleased. And again, it's difficult. You don't always have to go that stretch, but nonetheless, it has a lot to do with your character. Again, your ability to own up to your mistakes and really think through some actionable items as far as what can you do to make it better. Closing the interview. Dun, dun. Okay. Ask questions based on your research. Tell them that you want the job and make sure that you inquire about the next steps. So now everything is done. You have completed your hard work. You have showed your best self. You have prepared and done research. You've answered the questions beautifully. And now it's time for the interviewer to say, do you have any questions? We're going to go ahead and close this interview. So you, of course, say, yes, I do have questions because you've already come prepared. You already jotted down a few questions in your research that you really wanted to clarify. Here, it's really important that you make sure that you have more than one or two questions because as you're talking organically through your interview, some of those questions may be answered. And you really want to make sure that you're prepared with more than just two that would have been answered already. One of the worst things you can do to close your interview is to not have any questions at all. Tell them that you want the job. Repeat that. And not like, I want the job, but tell them that you are prepared and eager and excited about it and that you're the best candidate for the position. And then, of course, inquire about the next steps. If it's not offered, If that information is not offered or made available, you want to make sure that you are inquiring about the next steps and also that you follow up. Okay. So some people like to say practice makes perfect, but I would like to say practice makes progress. So I really want you to continue to practice this and you'll keep getting better and better. Okay. So let me tell you about a tool that we like to use called Interview Stream. It's really cool and it mimics the interview process. So it gives you an opportunity to practice. It really gives you an opportunity that you can practice anywhere, 24/7. It curates specific prompts for you so that you're prepared. All you need is a computer and a webcam. It will prompt you with a few questions and you'll have a certain amount of time to answer those questions, and then you can actually play it back to see how you did. How much time you spent slouching, how much time you spent in your hair, how much time you spent saying or and or I don't know. All of those things you can really see, and you'll be able to study your performance, if you will. Okay. And I don't mean performance as an act, but you'll be able to assess how well and how professional you are. So, one way that you can really take it a step further is you'll notice that in your Canvas, you have access to the UAB Career Center Canvas course. And it's really great because you have 6 different modules that you can choose from. It's self-led, you can do it all on your own. And right now, the session that I'm speaking to about interviews is session 5 or module 5. This is where you can navigate some of those common interview questions, and you can utilize the STAR method that I showed you earlier. The STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results. So you'll be able to practice that, work through some behavioral interview questions as well, successfully follow up on interviewing. These are great tips for you. And again, you can use them and utilize and practice as much as you'd like. It's already in your Canvas shell. It also goes through appropriate attire for your interview as well. Because, of course, when you look better, you feel better, you're more confident, you stand more upright. So, there, of course, are employer expectations. The employer is expecting for you to be on time and prepared. They want you to be enthusiastic and show that you care about the position. Of course, lastly, you want to make sure that you're dressed professionally. It is your first impression. In some ways, it's your first real live impression. So, of course, in many instances, your resume is what got you in the door for the interview. And now it's your time to seal the deal. You want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, so that you can go forth in getting that job. So, let's go over a few things of what to wear. Of course, there's business professional attire. That always includes a jacket. They can be separate, so they don't have to match, but in most cases for an interview, you will lean more towards matching. So maybe a black pantsuit or a black skirt suit or a black suit with a tie or gray. You want to keep it in those neutral tones. So black, gray, navy blue are pretty much the traditional business attire. And again, for the guys, this always includes a tie. Always includes a tie and a jacket. For women, always includes a jacket or a blazer of some sort. You want to make sure that your shoes are neutral and comfortable. The worst thing that you can do, or one of the worst things you can do, is come to an interview with heels on, so to speak, or really uncomfortable dress shoes, not knowing that you could be having a tour of the facility as well, which means you have a lot of walking to do. I've seen that happen, so just make sure that you do have appropriate shoes as far as the height and size for you as far as comfort. You're business casual. So this is something that you might see professionals at UAB, depending on where they work, wear every day. This is something that does not require a jacket. Um, Lots of casual kind of knit wear. So you may see more just slacks and a button up or a casual skirt, something that you can dress up or dress down. Another thing is the smart casual. I feel like smart casual is something that's new. It's something that's kind of trendy. It's something that lots of companies who are quote unquote unorthodox are starting to do. My husband definitely wears smart casual to work, especially when they were going in the office. Jeans are acceptable any day of the week. Of course, you want to kind of dress it up when you can, but the smart casual is something that gives you the freedom to know your style. Again, you want to keep it professional. Probably no t-shirts here. No t-shirts with any graphics, but just plain button ups or nice neutral patterns, if you will. You want to make sure, sometimes we can make things rocket science, and that can be really frustrating. But you want to make sure that you're genuine, that you're prepared, and that you're confident. No one knows you better than you, okay? So we do have virtual walk-in hours every Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. The link for the Zoom is on our website. Our contact information is listed here. Please feel free to communicate with us. Our office is open. So if you need to hang out with us, feel free to schedule an appointment via handshake. So I just want to review the takeaways. We want to make sure that students identify resources and opportunities to practice interviewing. So you have an opportunity there with Interview Stream. Okay. You also have an opportunity to meet with one of your career consultants to discuss and help you practice and do a mock interview. Students will be able to effectively tell their story. So this is a great way for you to think about that question. So tell me about yourself and to think about your past, present, future, and why. Okay. So students will also be able to articulate their value to employers using proven techniques to answer behavioral interview questions. So remember, for behavioral interview questions, you want to use the STAR technique. You want to quickly go through a situation, task, action, and result. Keep it professional, keep it brief. And number 4, students will successfully utilize that STAR method. I said earlier to keep it brief because you want to make sure that you explore your audience. Your audience will tell you if you've talked too long. So you want to make sure that you, 1, answer the question that they asked, and 2, be cognizant of the amount of time that it takes you to complete or answer the question. So a few next steps. Make sure that you complete a mock interview through Interview Stream. This is something that you can do all on your own. It's self-led. You would go to your Handshake account. Under the profile section, you would click the Career Center and then Resources. Under Resources, you'll see Interview Stream. You'll be able to log in and begin practicing. You want to make sure that you also complete the Career Center Canvas course for the interview module. I believe it's module number 5. Also, you can schedule an appointment with your career consultant and we can go through and drill you with the hard questions. And we'd be more than happy to do a mock interview with you or to talk through a few points to help you feel polished and confident about your upcoming interview. Also, make sure that your Handshake profile is 100% complete. The great thing is you have an opportunity to upload pictures and continue to add things to it to make sure that it's 100% complete. Feel free to email if you have any questions or if you'd like to discuss anything further. Thank you so much for your participation. It was a lot of fun getting a chance to virtually interact with you today. Again, I am available if you do have questions, and thank you so much.